Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
I'm trying to figure that out.
All right, well, whatever.
You can help me a little bit.
I will help you. Look at this squid. Dude, like, it's a squid with a heart in it. Isn't that so? Twitch Unity in
Who's
the
that
middle
guy
of squid
who did that?
tentacles.
Happy Clouds? What a lad you are.
Happy Clouds.
Good guy, Happy Clouds.
Yes,
Also,
yes.
I just want to put on the record, I apologize to Shane and the other 4 Irish people that play Dota. I was
Radiant
incredibly
team
insensitive for what I said. I take it all back.
You're a virtuous man, Andy.
Right now, Traskull's inbox is blowing up with, how dare you insult the good
10
nation
seconds
of Ireland?
remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Admiral Conka. Silencer.
Team pick.
Oh, poor
That's
Andy.
such a dank compliment. Hey, Andy, yeah, my mom likes you, but she likes James and Bruno a lot more.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
It's,
very
it's,
true.
it's a hard cast to keep
5
up with,
seconds
but
Very true.
remaining.
hey, we've got some interesting picks here. Wisp and
Reserve
Chen
time.
banned out by Danish Bears, so some good supports taken out. But Kunkka, first picked overall by iG.Vitality,
That's right.
straight into a silencer.
Yeah, this is the Dogfights Kunka. More than likely, we'll see if it's going to be the case. Of course, the Chen ban out super played it in that game against Warriors Gaming Unity. Danish Bears going for silencer again, though.
Radiant team
Rise has
pick.
played it in a majority of the games they've had in this tournament. I believe he played it at least 2 of the games yesterday against Singularity, I'm pretty sure, as the support. And yeah, should be good. Global silence. And then the Bat Rider coming out, and that might be Hesta Joe Ryan's hero, I believe.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Juggernaut.
Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban.
Mm.
Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban.
Yep. Yep.
10 seconds
And
remaining.
he's also a Manta builder against the global silence from the silencer.
Radiant
Something
team
to keep in
pick.
mind. I mean, it's just one of those extra things for Jug at the very least. But Danish Bears will go for Spirit Breaker again. I believe they picked this yesterday.
Yeah, a little bit of global presence coming out here. Bat Rider not exactly global, but very mobile. Again, a lot of catch for the Danish Bears, but the response from iG.Vit, it's a Tide Hunter, a little Kunkka Tide action.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I'm into it, man. I'm into this hero
10
now.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll see how this turns out. Yeah. And Sven would have been a good choice, but iG.Vit, of course, banned it out. You know,
Yeah.
very good against the Juggernaut, obviously. Like you mentioned, the AoE that you might want in terms of the Greater Cleave, but that is taken out of the pool. No more Sven available for Danish Bears.
Razor.
Radiant team pick.
Shadow Shaman.
Dire team ban.
I'm into it. And it gives you more lockdown. You find an X marks, you can
10
immediately, after the
seconds
Torn, go into
remaining.
like Shackles. You have a lot to disable some of these heroes with, especially heroes that are
5
quick, like Spirit
seconds
Breaker and
remaining.
Razor, that could generally get away pretty well. So I like the further lockdown. And like you mentioned, of
Reserve
course, the
time.
wards for pushing, really solid. I'm into it.
Radiant team ban.
Hmm.
Yeah. That's true.
Yep.
10 seconds remaining.
It's like
5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team pick. Dire team pick.
All right, here we go. Our last pick coming out, it is going to be the Death Prophet from iG.Vitality. So again,
wow.
it transitions into more of that pushing potential from iG.Vit. Now with the exorcism, you have the Jug as well, who's not a bad pusher, especially with the healing ward available. And then, of course, the Serpent Wards, as we talked
10
about previously.
seconds remaining.
Yeah, man, this is really nice. I look at this iG.Vitality lineup and think,
5
yeah, they can knock
seconds
down
remaining.
towers and punish if they win team fights, but how the hell do you break this team high ground? You know,
Reserve
Ravage,
time.
Boat, Wards, Juggernaut healing you up, plus Shrines. This is going to be hard for Danish Bears to close out. Their team is not particularly good at pushing. You know, Razor can get Aghanims, that'll help, but we'll see what they do with
Oh,
their
wait.
fifth.
Wait for it.
Yeah. Ha.
Quack, quack. That's right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Quack, quack for 747. Well, we'll see if this mid matchup goes a little bit better. We saw him play the sniper the other day against that Bloodseeker. How that went, of course, the Bloodseeker dominated that lane. Excited. Shane, what are you thinking, man? Who's Danish Bears for game one?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. Sniper Razor, we'll see what they can do. A lot of pressure on this Bat Rider Spirit Breaker to find the initiations. Danish Bears also a little bit light on lockdown. So we'll see. We're going to have Mott and Draskell for this game. And oh, no!
Oh!
No, a connection failure.
I didn't know that was possible. And the captain's...
Yeah, so we're going to see what happens here. I'm not sure if this lobby's actually going to load.
we're going to find out.
Is it going to be a Lodi?
I hope we get into
A Lodi
it.
lobby.
Come on now.
And Rise with the level 11 battle pass.
Yeah, him and Ace, they got to set their games up. Cable XY2. Come on, man. Got to represent the team. All right. Don't tell me that... Okay.
Looks
It
like we're
doesn't
good.
matter. Yeah, we're good.
I was very
Alright.
scared that connection thing was going to stay up there for the entire game, and I was like, I really not want to have to deal with this. So,
All right, there we have it.
So we are going to jump into the game, and of course, Andy, I want to get your thoughts. Of course, they talked about, Shane and Andrew were talking about their favoring iG.Vit. Do you favor iG.Vit as well, or are you going to go more of a Danish Bears side here?
I don't know. It's kind of tough. I really do like the DP because Global Silence is not particularly useful against the hero unless you're like killing her, right? Because if you pop Exorcism and then you global afterwards, it doesn't really do much. So I think there's a lot of emphasis on the silencer hitting like the perfect ult timings. And to be fair, the last time I saw Danish Bears play, they did do a very good job because they picked this in the past and his globals seem to be on point. So for me, it's just all about execution, you know? That's kind of what Dota is at the moment. And picks, obviously, this time around. I think it's actually more even than the rest of the panel think.
Yeah, I mean, I could see it happening too. I think it comes down to the good start that they need for the Razor, which should happen, and then, of course, the Sniper as well. We did see the Sniper get absolutely dominated yesterday against the Bloodseeker, or it might have been 2 days ago, from 747, and proceed to still come back. They did lose that game, but something to keep in mind, it's just... it's a different matchup now. We'll see how it goes. They're going to grab some of these bounty runes, being, while very aggressive for Danish Bears here, already just running at this Tide in July, heading bottom. It looks like they're going to dodge the tri-lane, and they'll send dogfights and super up top for iG.Vit.
Makes sense. You don't want to lane against the Razor if you can avoid it. Like Tidehunter would get completely shut down in that lane, even. There would be nothing that Enjoy can do. Charge on
Cicada, but he's already back behind the tower. Noya will take an auto attack or two along with the tower hit. So very good ward coming out for Cicada just to keep him safe. But this is already going to make Danish Bears rotate up towards top. Noya and Rise heading into that direction, as currently Ace cannot lane against any of these heroes. And this will leave the 1v1 matchup between both Tide as well as Hestejo and the Bat Riders you were talking about.
Still not ideal for Tidehunter, but it's not nearly as bad as going up against the Razor. The cool thing that iG.Vit did is, we talked about during the draft how potentially Noya could force the supports to be in one spot, but if you're iG.Vit and you're making their supports stay in the one spot because you know they technically want to win against you, then you're technically getting the upper hand. But of course, they say that, they just fail. Like, nope, not interested.
See you later.
Gonna make Noya run around the map. And the cool thing too is, like, dogfights can sit around mid, and he can stop charges from dealing with Cicada, and just say, okay, fine. If you want to charge, I'll just sit here, keep my Death Prophet safe, or maybe even go for it.
Yeah, he tried going for the Torrent. There's a ward up over at the top rune spot. Dogfights was spotted rotating over. 747 though, 5 last hits for him, 6 currently for the Death Prophet. Cicada's already used one of his Spirit Siphons. In fact, it's on cooldown now, as you can see. So again, this is a bit of a better matchup for 747 than the Bloodseeker matchup he had the other day, which was...
God, that was awful.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
But yeah, it's Sniper is one of those heroes. He's like OD. The first few waves, he's like okay, but once he gets to like 5, 6, 7, then he's like super annoying to deal with because he has insane range.
Okay, I was gonna say, is it the shrapnel as well? The range.
Yeah,
and
the shrapnel.
He gets more damage too. He builds into the Aquila and things like that. He really lacks that base damage early on, right?
Yeah, he's got low base damage. I don't think it's Shadow Fiend low, but it's pretty low. And plus, his level 10 now is 5 mana regen, dude. That's so much. That's better than Wind Ranger's level 10.
It's
4
kind of
mana
insane.
regen is a lot. Like,
Right.
you don't think of like 4 and 5 mana regen being a tremendous amount, but it is actually massive.
It's like an arcane
every
aura.
10 seconds. If you think about this, right? The shrapnel recharge, they store so slow that you will literally always have mana to cast a spell if you have that.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, Shrapnel's going to be pretty good if he gets that 5 mana regen. Again, it's like that Arcane Aura from the CM. It's pretty nice to have. You don't think about the mana as too big of an issue, as something that can really change your game, but mana regen on certain heroes is definitely pretty godlike, so we'll see how he does, and if he does go for it. I mean, the other option, of course, is 15 attack speed, and I don't know if he's going to pick that up.
It just seems lackluster. Attack speed talents and magic resist talents just seem meh. I think like magic resist talents could be the next thing to go after respawn, because they're just so they're uninventive and they're usually not good. Like the values just never seem high enough to warrant taking.
I like the word that you use there, uninventive. I think honestly, I want to see more of those cool like level 25 type talents throughout the talent pool. You don't have to put them at like level 15 or 10. You can add them at level 20, but like certain talents like the triple arrow thing, I think those are very cool ideas. And it makes the game that much more interesting. It makes it that much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, customizable?
Just to play devil's advocate for that line of thinking is, if you have every single talent add something crazy, then it becomes really hard to balance, right?
Right.
Like
Very
you want
true.
heroes to have a power peak at a certain stage in the game, and the reason why I feel talents were implemented in the first place is to better control that without having to just always mess with abilities.
That's
You know,
true.
it's every single time in the past, it's like, okay, we're changing an ability, we're changing a stat gain. Now it's a lot easier because you have something that's tangible that you can just look at and say, okay, well, his level 10 talent's kind of lackluster, but the hero still seems okay, so let's buff it by like 5. And then
Yeah.
people play the hero again. So
It's
I think the 20 and the 25 ones being crazy stuff is okay, but the 10 and 15s, just something besides magic resist. God, it's like the worst.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. There are other options, and it doesn't have to be anything too crazy that I was just talking about. And you're right. The balancing it makes it a lot easier. I feel like for Valve when you have these talents to work with, to a certain extent. But yeah, I'm into it. I can't wait to see what the future holds. But for now, for this game, we are still waiting on Ace to reconnect on the Razor. Should be fixed momentarily. And the good thing is, too, I think this has been pretty speedy for Elan in terms of we haven't had any real issues. It's been pretty good in terms of just moving along and getting through the games.
As far as the teams getting in and out, like usually that's what takes the longest.
Right.
Like teams setting up and whatever. It's been pretty fast.
Yeah.
I was surprised. But yeah, hopefully it's not paused for too long. This game is going to be really interesting though, because it's kind of like the battle of cooldowns versus the battle of, okay, we have one kind of big cooldown and then the rest of our team just fights nonstop.
Man
So like
fight,
Razor,
right.
yeah, like Razor, Sniper, Bat, and SP are not really ultimate reliant in the least. They just kind of use their skills and they're all relatively short cooldowns. So
Yep.
I think it's going to be a lot of pressure on Danish Bears to continually just go in, you know, just go full as hard as you can until it stops working. Because if you don't, and you have this like Tidehunter with Exorcism, or sorry, Tidehunter with Ravage, TP with Exorcism, and then the Shadow Shaman with the wards. It's if they set that up before you do anything, don't even bother. Like just don't look at it, just walk away.
Just try to run. Yeah. That is the thing. I mean, like, they're going to have to make some things happen in between these ulti cooldowns and maybe even try to find jumps before those ultis come out to begin with. And we'll see if that's going to be the case. But, I don't know. What's the timing here for the Dire to take advantage of? I mean, they want to try to fight early. They do have to fight into a good pushing lineup from iG.Vit. That's the thing. And this is something Andrew also mentioned. They don't have the best tower presence on the side of Danish Bears. There's not many pushing heroes, with maybe the exception of the Razor and Ag's Eye of the Storm.
Sniper is really good. That's the one thing, right? Sniper is a great late game hero. Now, when you think of traditional counters to Sniper, you think of anything that can close a gap quickly. So like your Spirit Breakers, your PA, even Spectre can be good because you just haunt it and you're on the hero right away. No one on the side of iG.Vit really does that. I mean, Kunkka can punish bad positioning. But punishing bad positioning is not the same thing as just jumping on the hero and being on the hero immediately with like a blink dagger. So
Right.
like the Shadow Shaman might eventually go for a blink, the Tide
Yeah.
might eventually go for a blink, but that's not like traditional catch against a hero like Sniper who can sit so far away. So they can get to a point in the game where 747 can hit towers. The towers obviously can't hit him because he has like 1,000 range or
million
something
range.
silly. Yeah, and it's a completely safe siege. And then you're looking at a scenario where even if you're hitting tier 3s, you shrapnel the high ground, and you hit the tower, and then you force iG.Vit to come into you. So that's kind of what I think the game plan would be, other than just, you know, winning your lanes, fighting a lot early game, because you have like this SB and this Bat, and the Razor, who are all, you know, in their own right, pretty lane-winning heroes.
Very true. Now, you were talking about these blink daggers. Obviously, the roster is probably going to try to get that as quickly as possible, but in terms of the Tidehunter, do you still go for that mech first? And of course, like we mentioned in the draft, Guardian Greaves as well against the global silence.
Yeah,
or
I
would
think
you
need Greaves.
Okay. Yeah, it seems
Because
like an optimal
they're going to
choice.
ignore you. They're going to global, and no one's going to hit you, because if they hit you, they risk proc and Kraken Shell. And if that happens, then you can Ravage, obviously. So I think that they're just going to hopefully win the lane against the Tide, which obviously they should because Razor's there. But if they do that, and in July eventually gets Greaves, your whole chain of initiation or whatever is going to be very, very tough. And then, you know, even Lotus Orb after the fact. That's probably one of the biggest issues of the lineup that Danish Bears currently have, is things like Lotus Orb and Greaves just hard counter what you want to do, which is go all in on one hero and get the kill.
You know, it's going to be difficult. We will see what's going on.
I will send him my computer. I'm sure it'll be there in time.
Yeah. Get there instantly. They probably should have another one on location, I would imagine. They usually do. Well. It's a keyboard issue, it looks like. Ooh. Oh, I think they're just trying something else. A different keyboard. Oh, we have yeah, it is a keyboard issue. That's what they told me in Skype.
Can you give us some play-by-play here, Mott? Looks like he's
all right.
That's some old tech right there, Mott. See, this is the thing, like, keyboards for me, I never cared what keyboard I used. I only cared about the mouse. The mouse was the thing that always drove me insane. Like, if the mouse was too small, like, I don't have small hands, Mott. So if I'm using a mouse and it's too small, it's just awful. Yeah, I mean, he has tiny hands, first off. Second off, whatever, it doesn't matter. Point is,
the fidget spinner, man. The twist tie? Dear God. He's having a good time with it, man. He looks pretty enthused. He's going in. He's making shapes, I'm sure. It's ownage. Yeah, I'm with you, though, Andy. The keyboard issues, like... Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing for me. I don't really care about the keyboard I use. Even if I'm playing like a first-person shooter, it is usually just the mouse. But
I feel the complete opposite. I care about the keyboard, and I can play with any mouse. It has to be a Black Widow, Black Widow.
You need the clicky keys?
I need the clicky keys.
That's kind of weird.
The keys are spaced kind of oddly apart. I'll be real. It's a weird keyboard, and I'm used to it.
I can use any keyboard, honestly. The mouse, I don't know, maybe it's just an FPS thing. I'm so finicky about my mouse. If I don't have my mouse when I'm playing a game like that, and I die, I will generally blame it on the tools, despite it being probably my fault.
At least you're better than Suns fan. Oh, is this 144 hertz? I cannot play Dota.
Yeah, but he's a Counter-Strike guy, though, and that makes sense. It is actually kind of sort of a difference maker in that regard.
Not for Dota, though. He literally is just like, game is unplayable unless it's 144 hertz. Was it that first one that ESL did? I feel like that was an ESL thing, but I might be making that up.
Somebody in chat will know, and we can look at it.
Yeah. Well, that was a thing, like maybe 2 years ago, like getting more consistency across the gear, so the players eventually, like, I might have...
use this. So, all right. Thank you so much for sticking around with us, guys.
You're welcome, Mom.
Okay, all right, Andrew. All right, we are into the game. If you're just joining us, it is about 2 minutes in. Cicada, of course, against 747 top lane. Looks like they're going to use the static wing in July, but he's just going to walk out. We'll lose 31 of his damage. And we'll see how this goes. So again, what we witnessed was Noya coming top and then them rotating dogfights as well as the Shadow Shaman down bottom for super. So they've kind of been playing musical lanes here for a bit, Andy.
Yeah, it was a lane swap. I mean, from the way that everything turned out, maybe iG.Vit were the ones who were expecting different lanes because they were the ones who reacted first, right? Like they went top and then said, we'll pass on this, and then just left and went towards bottom. So all things considered, a little bit like a tiny advantage currently for Danish players. And like I mentioned, the more levels that 747 gets, the easier his lane becomes. And the harder it's also going to be to gank him because the more points you put in a take aim, the further away you stand from the creeps, which puts you kind of like...
Oh, dogfights. They scanned. They knew he was there. He's going to go for the TP. The charge will not be there in time. Very close. I think he saw Noya coming in with the observer ward in that mid lane. He was able to correctly predict when he needed to TP and will do so. But really what made that happen was the scan coming from Danish Bears to make sure they keep 747 safe. And you're right. He needs these take aim levels. When he gets it, he becomes, I don't want to say ungankable, but very difficult to deal with.
You're just guaranteed going to be under the tower. That's pretty much what it boils down to. And top lane in July's life is pretty much just suffering. The Razor being back pains me as a person, Mott. I just, playing against it, playing with it, just never enjoyed the hero personally.
Do you like watching it? Because you and Andrew could be good friends if that's...
I mean, I can live vicariously through in July and just say, okay, I play offlane, so I understand what he's experiencing as of this moment. It is not a good time.
It's not fun, no. That's definitely true. But you know what? Here's what you can take comfort in, Andy. He is a Tide Hunter. He can take jungle stacks at some point in time in the future. But I'm going to keep in mind bottom lane. As to Joe. Walking up, KYXY leaving lane, just trying to put some pressure on these heroes in the off lane. And looks like that'll be the end of the aggression. But Spirit Siphon mid. 747 turning with the shrapnel. He does have a fairy fire. He will use it. The charge coming through. Another Spirit Siphon. 747. One more auto attack, but he gets the first blood. Oh, he turns around, throws the shrapnel. The fairy fire was perfect in Noise charge. Also useful as well.
Double damage.
The fact that he still died really kind of sucks, though. I mean, he put himself in a very precarious situation, assuming that Noya would be there in time. Just a slight miscalculation, I guess. But yeah, he gets the first blood. But at the end of it, you know, iG.Vit still walk away overall. Like, they're doing more on the lanes now, ever since the rotations happened. So maybe a little bit concerning here. Natsudo needs to be careful as well.
Oh, he looks like he's getting jumped on. That's a DD dogfight, Skunka. The Torrent will be there. They will find it. Blade Fury. Oh, that's the Shackles, excuse me, coming out, and they're going to get this kill. I think he was holding the Blade Fury, realized they didn't need it, and decided against it. But again, the double damage from dogfights, the setup is there, and he's just a little too far up for Joe.
That's the one thing about Kunkka, man. Doesn't matter what hero you are. If you get X, you are going down. There's just no saving you at that point.
Yep.
It's gonna get even worse as, you know, KOXY gets more levels too. He's gonna get Omni. He's got the level 3 into Blade Flurry now. This is a very hard lane to just be in general.
Yeah. It's not gonna be easy. You can also take jungle stacks. That's the good thing about these two offlane heroes. Just stack some of these camps up and go to work. And even in the case of Batrider, Ancients as well now. I guess you could still do the same for Angel Eye and the Tide Hunter too at it. It's the same sort of thing. You're gonna be able to find farm, but charge top lane, and July will just get hit, and Noya is going to take some tower hits. He actually takes way more damage than In July took. But just kind of being a nuisance and keeping In July honest in this top lane. But bottom, looks like they're trying to find Joe. X marks to come through, but this is a bit of a dive. Here comes the healing ward. Noya is going to chase him down. Decides against it, though. They say, okay, he's got the healing ward out. Let's just sit back and keep this Batrider alive. Maybe.
It should be fine, I think. Okay, as long as he doesn't get caught out too far. No Omni yet, though, on the jug, so I think Joe will be able to just walk that one off.
Yep. Ooh, Shrine. Perfect timing. It is 6 minutes, so it is up now. 1 minute to go. What about mid lane? What's going on there, man? It's 26 last hits for the Sniper. Of course, 34 for the Death Prophet. Again, 747 got first blood, but it's not like Sakata got nothing out of that. Meanwhile, down bottom, Blade Fury. The Firefly is there. They're going to get the kill. Did Noya get a bash? It looks like he might have. And we'll secure it. And they'll leave. And they also they bring him down, which is huge. Now mid lane, TP's coming in. Exorcism coming through. 747 is going to get dropped. Arcane Curse, the X mark is there as well. Sakata will go down. It'll be a 1-for-1 trade. And now the Static League Dogfights is in a lot of trouble. He will have Torrent back up in 1. He sticks up, but it's not in time. Noya will complete the charge into the range creep. And it is a 2-for-1 trade with now Exorcism being down for iG.Vit as well.
This is kind of what I meant by like pushing the tempo crazy early. Your heroes are just so good at early game skirmishes. You know, you get a couple of stacks of napalm on you, get your damage drained, and then you just get ran at. It's very, very difficult for these heroes of iG.Vit to deal with. A fight where you're like even numbered is still hard for Danish Bears to take. It's tricky until the ultimates are up.
Yeah. We will see if it's going to be any more pressure coming in from Danish Bears. Omni slash Hestijo. Good fairy fire. The Blade Fury is not enough, and he just gets onto the high ground with the Firefly. Very good stuff. He will survive, not only force out the Omni, but the Blade Fury as well. Oh, meanwhile, Noé coming in. Charge coming through. Arcane Curse. Couple of auto attacks. No glaives available. Here comes Super. He's actually getting blocked now. They will throw up the healing ward. Hestijo chasing him down as he regens up. Is back in from a TP scroll. Looking for more. The Firefly will go. Super getting bashed through with the charge. And they're looking for more. X marks. That'll be up. And they're going to try to find a torrent as well. Noé will miss it. One more auto attack. No, the stick charge is there. He needs maybe 2 more. Can they get this kill? They've already dropped 2. They get the kill top lane as well in the Tidehunter while this is all happening. Noé cannot find dogfights, but will go to work on KYXY. Rise is coming back in. Hestijo as well, but he's out of mana. Again, no Firefly. Last word will come out with the Arcane Curse. They might dive this tower. Noé thinking about charge. Can't get it there in time. TP coming through from Super. Sal will come in from Noya, and that's going to be the end of the aggression. They secure the kill on bottom on Super, and then top lane, Injuly goes down as well.
This is a mess right now for iG.Vit. They're kind of scrambling all over the map. Top lane as well. Injuly.
Oh, is he dead again? He's just dead. Oh my god. Man,
that new change, the Eye of the Storm change with the static link is insane. It takes away like so much of your armor over even a couple of seconds.
He made Tidehunter look like a squishy hero there with how much damage he just did. It was kind of insane. But that's what happens when you steal that much damage. You got the Eye of the Storm. Meanwhile, down bottom, X marks Torn. The Shackles will fall up as well. Here comes the Arcane Curse Blast Word, but the Blade Fury off as well. Hestijo in some trouble, trying to live. He might make it out. One more auto attack, and Super will do the job with all that new base damage coming in. Shackles will come again. KYXY going to get dropped, though. It'll be by Rise. Noé getting shackled up, and Super will try to take it down. Exorcism. Super gets the double kill on the back lines now. Rise trying to turn. X marks back in. Raiders will get dropped as well. Cicada pops the Exorcism. It is a 3-for-1 trade. What a turn, and now they're looking for Rise, the Spirit Siphon. But here's the Shrapnel. They'll try to turn in Cicada. The Arcane Curse is up as well. They need a few more auto attacks. It's going to be the Assassination. Isn't going to do enough. He's healing back through. He might be able to live. Noya coming in. Another Spirit Siphon coming out. Cicada. He's going to have to regen. Can they bring him down? They need 2 more auto attacks. They get it. And they also get the smoke for Noya to live. Blade Fury coming out. Hestijo getting chased down, but KYXY has no Omni Slash. He uses it. Doesn't get enough done. The Healing Ward will come through. Hestijo taking tower hits. They want this kill. Another Assassinate. 747 gets the double kill. That constant pressure and fighting you were talking about, Andy, starts to pay off here in this bottom lane.
That's like the absolute worst way to take a fight, what iG.Vit just did there. You can't 1-by-1 into Danish Bears team. You just can't. There's too many, like, they can kite you, they have like the Spirit Breaker charging, the Sniper's just sitting in the back, no one's able to deal with them because they don't have any of those heroes that can close the gap. That's the big thing that we were talking about during the pause. If you can't get to the Sniper, you're gonna lose the fight. And he just sat in the back after, you know, Cicada was like running into the tower like he wanted to go for the dive, and as soon as the first shrapnel came out, that was just like the beginning of the end. Because the rest of it was heroes. Yeah, they just TP'd in 1-by-1 and just died.
Yep. Cicada tries to run as soon as that shrapnel gets dropped down, and he's like, nope. They didn't have Injuly there at all either, by the way. He died once top. He respawned, I think he TP'd elsewhere. And he was not available to come in with a Ravage, which is probably the biggest thing they could have had in that fight, including Exorcism. TP's top ace is here. Noya is ready for a charge as well. They're going to try to put some pressure on this tower. Super not level 6 yet. Here comes the Plasma Field. Leveled up to level 3. The Healing Ward coming out as well. Still the slow but steady pressure coming in from iG.Vitality. Rise coming through. Throws up the Arcane Curse. Now the charge onto KYXY. Healing Ward is still alive. Now the Shrapnel to follow through. The Bash is up. Injuly pops the Ravage. Hits onto 4. The Torrent to come through as well. Where's the Ghost Ship? It's too late for the follow-up. They will hit Ace, but that's it. The Crypt Swarm. The Spirit Siphon, but he's so fast. The X-Mars is going to be the Ethereal Shock that gets the kill. But that is it. It's a 1-for-1 with Ravage committed. Ghost Ship assassinates Cicada, just barely alive in July as well. This is one of the most value shrines you will ever see.
That was I don't have a really nice way of saying it, so that was a really bad follow-up. Like, it was just bad. In July, hit 4 people with his Ravage. The Torrent missed every single hero.
Yep.
And the boat hit 1. Like, that was actually...
it's not good. They might get Rise at the very least, which is nice. And that's actually a dominating streak taken by Cicada, but... I mean, the thing is, they didn't have Exorcism, but they shouldn't have needed it with the follow-up that they had available to them. And somehow they're still going to get the Tier 1 tower and another kill out of it, which is a little weird, but...
Yeah, I don't know. They're still going to end up getting the tower, but that was a very awkward series of events. I guess they don't have to commit the Exorcism, they don't have to commit the wards either, which means they can either rotate towards mid or they can just keep pushing into the Tier 2. But they can't afford too many more mistakes like that, you know? I mean, the game is very even at this juncture, and this is kind of the timing where you would expect iG.Vit to have a huge power spike because of all their ultimates. But if you keep throwing out stuff like that, you're going to get punished for it.
Yeah. Speaking of, they will try to push in with their new ultimate, the Serpent Wards. The Exorcism will go as well. Flame Break coming in, Hestejo getting X marks. The Torrent will follow up as well, but they have no way of going any further. If they back here with Exorcism committed, I'm not sure... What are they going to do here now? I mean, Exorcism is down. Can
they just avoid the fight? Like, they don't want to do anything when their ultis are down. So they got, like, what, 2/3 damage in the Tier 2? It's not awful. If they had gotten maybe a little bit more out of the team fight, then maybe they could push harder. But keep in mind, it's also only 13 minutes in. So everyone has a really, really low respawn. And as we already spoke about, it's the only cooldown that Danish Bears really has to play around is Silence. And they haven't. So Global's up, then they're pretty much good to go.
Yeah, and I think what they're also waiting for Danish Bears is the Blink Dagger, which is going to be completed right now for Hestejo. Probably go back, heal up, get some regen for his mana, and go back to work. Meanwhile, Jug starting to fall behind a little bit in terms of his net worth, trying to get to that Yasha and more than likely the Manta style eventually, but again, a couple of these kills earlier on in the game, not really helping him too much. Death Prophet has picked up a Yule Scepter, and that's kind of where we're at right now. No other really big items. I think a Maelstrom might be flying out for the Sniper. No, not yet. He's not done with it yet, but he will be soon.
That's one thing that I'm kind of curious as to what iG.Vit's plan is, because I think that they really wanted to hit their stride a little bit faster, and then kind of take all the other 2 towers based on their just overwhelmingly strong team fight, and then try to do something before like the blink on the bat is up, before 747 has any real damage items. But it doesn't really seem like they're hitting that. So smoke up now from Danish Bears. They have the blink, they have the global. It's gonna be a very good opening for them.
Ooh, they are heading in the wrong direction, however. Maybe assuming that somebody will TP in to defend the Tier 1 tower as 747 pushes it in casually. But iG.Vit currently not taking the bait. They are sitting behind bottom, also thinking that someone's going to defend the Tier 1 bottom instead. And we'll see maybe a TPS KYXY is starting to push it in. So both teams may be unaware, or perhaps they are aware. But here comes the Serpent Wards drop down. That's the problem here for Danish Bears, is that this is committed, and they now have to go and defend. It looks like they will still stay smoked. And it's actually a new smoke coming out as well, and Hestejo looking for this lasso target. Flame Break will come through, and July, they don't want to go on him, but who's it going to be? The tower should be taken down, but can they find any sort of fight here? It looks like iG just might back up as they have Ravage now, and I don't think Danish Bears want to fight into this. All right, so pretty, I guess, nifty little trade there for iG.Vit, if you want to call it that. Drop wards, get tower, and no fight.
I don't think it's a good trade. Oh, they might lose heroes too.
Yeah, in July, Nether Strike, that'll be into dogfights. They have Lasso. Ghost Ship is going to come out. Lasso will go. That will be on to the Tidehunter. He does have level 3 Kraken Shell. He will go for the TP, and it looks like he will be successful. They have no way of stopping it. Noya, he had the charge, but it just came off cooldown, I believe. And just like that, he TP's out right in front of these heroes without having to use Ravage whatsoever.
Yeah, the I guess downside being shown there, not a lot of disables. So they kind of have to, and that's why I mentioned the Lotus Orb later on, because if you Lotus Orb a target and they try to do all like the single target stuff for one person to kill them, Lotus Orb's gonna like destroy it. It's really, really hard to get those kills later on. But for now, they're pretty much free to just dump whatever they want on the hero. Got in the meantime. More
they are top. It is 3 heroes. The Tier 2 about to fall. They will glyph it We'll see if Danish Bears can defend this. The Exorcism Spirit's still going. Here's the charge. KYXY. Static linked up now. The Global Silence will come through. Do they have the damage? Ace trying to chase. The Healing Ward helping out and keeping him alive, but so much damage stolen. Plasma Field, along with the last right click, get the kill. And July looking for a Ravage now. They've still got everybody up for Danish Bears, and so far Super is down as well on iG.Vit's side, and looking like they do not want to fight any further. They've already killed 2, and they don't want to turn into Ravage, as Danish Bears will back themselves away, and so too will iG.Vit now, losing 2 heroes after getting that tier 2 tower.
I think that tower was going to fall inevitably anyway, so it got chipped pretty heavily the first time they walked up there when they dropped the wards and committed the first exorcism. So to get those 2 kills, knowing the tower is probably going to die at some point anyway, and then 747, you know, he lives through another fight. He's working his way towards the full Hurricane Pike. He's level 13. He's living the life, man. Like, this is the sniper game you want to play. Enemy team has no blink initiator on you. You're good to go.
I mean, the best they can maybe do is find a smoke, and he's out of position, but instead they will head into Roshan. And it seems as though Dire don't really know about this. Maybe we'll see, I believe, dogfights mid, and that's about it. Serpent Wards were dropped. They also have a medallion up and ready to go. That is on Cicada, who's building into a Silver Crest. And this should be taken. I mean, it's a little bit slow, but again, nobody from Danish Bears looking to contest, or they don't know that it's happening to begin with.
Yeah, it's... Actually, I think it would have been a fight they would contest if they had... But they don't have Global up right now, so... On the chance that they know, they probably just feel like it's too risky because they assume wards are going to be down in the pit. And that's a kind of a mess. So if you have like Blink on the bat and Global up at the same time, then sure, you may be able to pull somebody out and make something happen. But I think it's too inherently risky otherwise. Plus, you know, we talked about iG.Vit's high ground defense, but pushing high ground into sniper and bat, ugh, yeah, that is not fun.
No, not at all. My God, that seems really difficult. So, and there's still plenty of time to go before that even happens, unless they decide to head top. But there's the tier 1 mid. They obviously have the tier 2 bottom as well. One thing I do want to ask you about, I don't know if you saw, I'm assuming you did, is Ace with the Midas pickup. What do you think about this at this point in the game for Danish Bears?
I think it's fine. Like, I don't think they're scared to go into the late game. That's really how I feel about like their situation. Razor is notorious for having issues farming because he only really has one method of killing creeps quickly, and that's just by spamming Plasma Field. So if you keep yourself relevant on farm, and you have this sniper who has had a really good game so far, highest CS, you know, up until this point. He had that one unfortunate death when he traded for Cicada in middle lane, but he got the first blood, so he still won that. I don't think it's much of a problem to go for a Midas. Like, what other item... When you buy Midas, you ask yourself, is there another item that I can buy that's going to influence the game in some huge way that is going to be beneficial for my team? If the answer is usually no, then you just buy Midas because it's not hurting you and it's going to give you added benefit and you're not scared of pushing the game later.
Yeah. But as it is right now, iG.Vit with this newly minted Aegis, they're looking to push down towers, and one of the most important items that is about to fly out for the side hunter is this Blink Dagger. And you mentioned the sniper being hard to take down, and again, now he's going to have the Hurricane Pike very soon as well. How much is this Blink Dagger going to help in July in terms of not only getting kills on Danish Bears, but finding the sniper and bringing him down?
Well, the perfect fight is catching the sniper, right? That would be like the absolute best. You said it earlier, you know, smoke gank, maybe 747's out of position. That's what they have to hope for.
Oh, are they going to find it? Yeah, it looks like it. Blink, Gush. He doesn't have the Hurricane Pike yet. He's glimpsed back. The Torrent is there. The Ghost Ship. That is... Wow. Okay. Well, they hoped for it. They got
exactly it. Exactly what we said needed to happen happened. All right. Perfect. Well,
the Caster's Curse strikes again. Yeah, right.
Caster's Curse would have been something completely different. That's the Caster's Curse.
Oh. Well, it depends on whose side you're looking at. Right? Maybe 7%.
Yeah, I suppose. Usually the way I see it is that when you Caster's Curse somebody, you say they're doing well, and then something bad happens.
That's true.
That's how I see it.
Okay, that's fair. You're right. I probably didn't use it properly there. But anyway, here we go. Already the high ground push comes out. We were just looking at a tier 1 tower and a tier 2 tower mid. It's gone now. We just talked about it. And already the Exorcism and the Serpent Wards are dropped. And this is the problem. You don't have the sniper. It's a lot harder to maybe push out these Serpent Wards. You have to be able to bring him down. Torrent will come through. A lot of damage to the tier 3 tower, but a smart play for iG.Vit to back now. They know Exorcism is ending soon. They do have Ravage still, and they might sit on the high ground and try to bait something out here. We'll see. They also have Ghost Ship as well. All right, and they have good vision, too, right towards the entrance of this tier 3 tower into the base, and they're looking. They might find Hesta Joe. He blinks out in time. The force will come through, but here comes the X-Marks and the Torrent. Do they want to fight this? The Global will come out. They're going to try the charge. They're going to turn their attention to dogfights. Now they will back away. Again, Ravage will come through. It's on to 2. They might lose 747 again. The Omni Slash, he can't force himself to the high ground. The Glimmer Cape will come out. The Torrent, the Ghost Ship coming through. The Blade Fury, he's so low, and he might get dropped down. The charge from Noya, the Crypt Storm, it's not enough. Finally, the X-Marks coming back in. They'll find the lasso. 747 is somehow still alive. You've got to be kidding me. And they bring Cicada into the well. Oh my God, he's going to drop down. That is going to be him dead for 49 seconds. You've got to be kidding me. Saving Private 747. That is absolutely unbelievable. There's no way he should have lived there. Dear God.
That Crypt Swarm had to have been like... I don't even know how it missed. It actually looked like it hit him, but somehow, some way. Very nice lasso coming in too from Hesta, realizing that that was the one hero who could potentially get the kill after the X was cast. That was very, very nice team coordination coming in there from Danish Bears to hold that as well as they did. Alright, finding a casual in July here. But that could have been a disaster. Like, even defending the tier 3 is a big thing, because you keep your shrines alive. You know, you keep your gank avenues open, and you make sure that iG.Vit can't just walk onto your side of the map and you don't have a flank anymore. Like, those shrines are really, really good for like getting the jump on an unsuspecting team and like getting a really quick pick. So, all things considered, killing 747 was great. Didn't really get as much as I think iG.Vit wanted out of it, but again, it's still kind of early on. You know, 20 minutes isn't really a long game.
Yeah, yeah. It felt like it could have turned pretty sour there if they got a couple of those kills on the Danish Bears. But again, keeping 747 alive. And I think the most important thing about that fight is realizing that X-Marks and Torrent is a problem for 747 in these fights. Yeah, if you can't get close to him, it's he's going to do a lot of damage and be an issue to iG.Vit. But in that fight, they jumped on him. They found the initiation and the X-Marks and the Torrent to follow up. And he realizes he might need a BKB here. And in fact, that's what he's building next on 747 Andy.
Yeah, I think it's nice. But the other thing, too, that's important to note is when they were fighting at night. So fighting at night is a little bit different because the sniper can't really abuse full range. Like, if you're walking around in the woods and it's nighttime and you get caught out by a hero, then they're just innately closer to you than they would be, you know, during daytime if you're just sitting in lane. You have a lesser time to react. That's why that fight and its, I guess, chaoticness kind of paid off for iG.Vit, but like we already saw, unable to actually secure the kill on the sniper, who is definitely the prize. That is who you want.
Are they about to smoke up on this ward? Looks like they, well, even if they don't, it looks like iG.Vit know that something is up and they might not get caught by this. Noise the only one on the high ground, low ground vision, only scouts out Hesta Joe. But we'll see where they move next. They have one outer tower left, that's the tier 2 bottom. In the meantime, iG.Vit sitting around the corner here up in this high ground. They drop a ward as well, so they have perfect counter initiation potential. And here comes this smoke. The scan will connect. They're going to come in. Blink Ravage catches onto 4. The Torrent follow up. The Ghost Ship will be there as well. Somehow they've only gotten Rise out of it. Hesta Joe is going to be the one to get caught. The Yule Sifter will come through, and he may very well go down, but that is still insane. They will only lose 2 heroes out of that fight.
That actually looked a lot worse than it was.
Yes.
To be fair, considering they dumped everything on that. They lost a Bat Rider and a Silencer. Alright. But that was a fresh BKB on Ace as well. So I guess, you know, a BKB charge, grand scheme of things, every little bit helps. There's one thing about playing against Tidehunter teams too that a lot of people, well, they probably don't experience it very often, but a game getting to like the ultra late where there's 5-second BKBs and there's like pressure. That's when Tide is pretty much a god tier hero. Yeah. Because you have your ultimate up all the time, and 2 Ravages at that stage in the game is just so much damage that you're missing out on, and so much damage that you're taking as well. So I have a feeling this could be a long one, Mon.
Yeah, it's starting to shape up that way. X marks the charge will complete. The Nether Strike comes out. X marks still going. Last word, along with a couple of auto attacks, will bring him down. He tries going for the TP, not successful in doing so. Hesta Joe in the meantime trying to chase down another hero. He's got Blink in one, but he's not very close to July and Cicada, so finding Lasso is nigh impossible at this point as he takes some tower hits and he will just fly back to the north. And yeah, man. And I have to say, looking at that last fight, and you're right, that could have gone so much worse, and I'm surprised it didn't for Danish Bears. Losing those 2 heroes when you have that 4-man Ravage, I don't know how it happens, but, and they blew a lot there. Ghost Ship, Exorcism, everything was used. Serpent Wards were also dropped as well, and that's still somehow not enough to get the heroes like Ace that was caught. But again, like you mentioned, it was the BKB charge that was used for Ace in that fight.
Yeah. That's the really nice thing for Danish Bears. The BKBs coming out and being like fresh means that the team fights are really, really hard for iG.Vit, unless again they get the correct initiation, which you can't really say a 5-man Ravage isn't good. It's just more like Ace is super tanky already, and then the BKB just allows him to retreat. Where normally if he didn't have BKB, he'd be super dead in that situation. No way he lives through that. But yeah, it's kind of showing, you know, iG.Vit's weakness is that when they're fighting, especially on that side of the map, let's say for instance that they did kill a lot of heroes. Okay, well now they're down Mass Serpent Wards, and their Exorcism's going to be like down by the time they get to the base. So even in the circumstance that they wipe Danish Bears, sure, it's a great team fight for you, but what is your objective? You know, what are you getting other than just the kills?
Right. It's a good point. But we'll see. I mean, where are iG.Vit going to head next? They have the Guardian Greaves, they have the Manta style up for KYXY, so they have ways to deal with the Global Silence now, but do they have the ways to deal with these BKBs? As you mentioned later on in the game, it's the Tidehunter with the Refresher Orb when these BKBs are down to 5-second durations. But how about now? They have the newly minted BKB on the Sniper, they're getting one of the Bat Rider, which will have somewhat soon. What do you have to do to deal with these items for Danish Bears now?
You kind of have to just wait it out. You have to either get like the kill right away, or you have to kite BKBs. And it's hard for iG.Vit to do that. So they're going for the former play, which is hope that your smoke gank hits.
Ace going to walk into them. BKB is popped. They're going to turn this. The Global Silence will come out. The Manta use immediately. Guardian Greaves is down for 20 seconds. There is the lasso, but they're turning their attention elsewhere. They want in July. Noah is on the other side of the fight. Now they're going to try to slap down KYXY, and that is a lot of damage from Ace. Already one dead. Noah will kill himself onto Cicada, but look at the damage here. However, the Solar Crest is going to work, and Ace, the Spirit Siphon, Cicada finds the double kill, but the Sniper going to work, pops his own BKB. The Spirit Siphon doing so much. Somehow he's still alive. The Ghost Ship is going to keep him tanky as well. Cicada and in July, along with Dogfights, now turning onto the Sniper. His BKB is done, and Cicada finds the triple kill. Sure, they get the kill onto the Jug early on, but they did not have the lockdown nor killing potential to bring down Cicada.
A 747 kind of got baited into a bad position there. He just misinterpreted how much damage he could do to the Death Prophet. Because he used the aggressive Solar Crest onto the Razor to get the kill because Ace's BKB was down. And then he lost the debuff essentially, so he regained like the armor and evasion that he had. Okay, charge coming in here.
They really want super. Ooh, that X marks Torrent. Spirit Siphon to come through. They don't really have much. Now they have the Ravage to follow up. That will get the kill. Joe in trouble as well, trying to get to the Shrine, and he might be able to regen up. The X marks going again. They will get the tier 3 tower, but again, they don't have the Exorcism or the Serpent Wards to take this down. The lasso back too. They have the damage for Cicada. The Torrent will keep him alive. The Ghost Ship is back up, and that'll keep him tanky as well. And now they drop the Sentry with the Dust. Rise is going to get caught, and Super, the huge right-click damage from the Shadow Shaman, will be there and grabs the kill. Dogfights, Glimmer Cape's up. He's trying to run. In July, will be able to TP successfully as he buys a Force Staff as well. And Dogfights will make it out on top of it all. A giant swing going in the favor of iG.Vit. Again, they don't get the racks because they didn't have the Exorcism or the Serpent Wards, but a couple of kills added on top here, Andy.
That's the thing, right? It's so weird to watch these fights. They used Mass Serpent Wards to kill a Silencer support, which, I mean, he got the kill. And then they have to pop Exorcism just to win the fight, and then by the time they get to the base, there's just no gas left in the tank because their Juggernaut freaking dies there, right? Like, KYXY died in the beginning of the fight when they were in the jungle. And if he's not alive and you have no ultis, no one's hitting buildings. That is like the most depressing thing in the world to watch, because iG.Vit played the fight beautifully. Like, their Juggernaut died, sure, but everything else worked out for them very well. They're just not really able to translate that into structural damage unless they have things up when they get to the base.
Yeah. It's something you touched on earlier as well, and it just... Yeah, it's the Jug getting picked off is the biggest thing, I think. Or maybe if, you know, Exorcism's up a longer time. It's just maybe winning the fight earlier, but when it all comes down to it, they will still get an advantage. They will get a tier 3 tower, and now they will attempt to take Roche. Joe hexed up, shackled. He's on the high ground. The X marks will bring him back down to the low ground. The Torrent is there. They jump in. He forces himself away. The Spirit Siphon will break. He will get earned up and stays alive for the time being as Danish Bears push him back out. They will have the Shrine going through. They want to try to fight this Exorcism pot now as well. The Solar Crest doing some serious work on Roshan. Can they take this down? They're charging in. Global will come through, but they get the Aegis just in time. KYXY has dropped. Exorcism still going. They want Sakata. They were looking for the lasso, but he gets Glimmer Capes in time. The Omni Slash following 747. Forced to pop the BKB. He is in a lot of trouble. He's already used the Force Staff, the Hurricane Bike to get out, and he's done. KYXY pops the cheese as well. The Blade Fury will come through. He will stay alive, and everybody from Danish Bears has to just skedaddle. They'll try to get out, but it will be a double kill for Sakata as Ace now getting chased down alongside. The Yule Sister will come through. The Unstable Current as well, but really doesn't do that much. The Torrent, not there in time. And Ace, despite not having that BKB, looks like he will be able to make it away. Sakata going in deep, cannot find him. And we'll see if they can't do anything to this base. But again, look at the creep wave. Look at where it is, Andy. It's all the way back towards the opposite side of the river. Oh, man.
I mean, they have a little bit of time. Oh, man, did they actually have enough time? That's the question. I guess not. Because it's only 30 seconds until the sniper's up, and he's the one with the longest respawn. That was a incredibly fortunate Omni, by the way. Like, I don't know if you saw that, but 747 force-staffed up the freaking hill, and he got followed with the Omni, and KYXY picked up the Aegis and the cheese like a quarter of a second before he freaking died. If he didn't get that, and the charge in from Noya managed to create enough chaos for, you know, maybe him to steal something, that fight would have been, I think, an unmitigated disaster for iG.Vit. That fight was like not even 1 full second away from being just awful.
Somehow they keep it going in their direction. These have been some pretty insane fights from iG.Vit. Ravage wasn't committed there. He still has it ready to go. He's been really holding on to the Ravage, and I think it did to good measure as well. He's done a very good job of not committing, you know, unless they absolutely need it, or they're going to get some kills out of it as well. So very good stuff from in July.
It's actually not an easy game to be tied. That's the really annoying part, because if you Ravage and you're hitting like Razor and you're hitting Spear Breaker, it's like, yeah, okay, but the Razor's just gonna BKB, and who cares if you kill the Spear Breaker? The hero doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things in a team fight, because 747 and Ace are still just sitting there BKB going ham. So you kind of want to hit those heroes, but it's just difficult. He needs a lot of mobility, which is why he went for that Force Staff after the blink.
Yeah. Now he's working on what you talked about, the Refresher Orb. A couple gems picked up. Midases are starting to kick in for the Dire. It is a 5,300 net worth advantage. Again, no racks have been taken, and it feels like it could be more. If you're iG.Vitality here, are you concerned at any point, you know, when it gets to the later stages of the game because of these Midases and the heroes they have on Danish Bear's side?
I don't know if I'm scared of the Midases, really. I think I'm more scared of just the Sniper. I think that's the biggest concern. Like, Razor, his BKB is going to fall off, and he's going to start eating Ravages and double Ravages and all that other stuff, and he's going to die. But the problem is always going to be getting the 747. If they can continually find him in fights, then I don't think they really have much of a reason to worry. It's just about the angle of engagement, you know, who gets their spells off properly, and if they can focus the right targets.
All right, Dire scan not successful. Both teams using their scans, and it looks like Danish Bears getting some cold feet when they were trying to go for a smoke play and decided not to cross the river. They take the haste rune. Little did they know there wasn't any vision from the Radiant over on that rune spot, so they will not go. And I think correctly so, iG.Vit were putting themselves in a pretty good position. If they were to walk up high ground, it might have been disastrous for Danish Bears. But all right, you know, we have, again, it felt like this game could have gone pretty poorly for Danish Bears like 10 minutes ago when they had that tier 3 push coming in and the racks, but it's sort of been kept a little even. I mean, I know 5,000 net worth is an advantage for iG.Vit, but it feels like it could be, again, a lot worse for Danish Bears.
They still got the high ground. That's the one thing. If they play it super safe, you know, they just farm up a bit, they have some vision, they know, okay, iG.Vit is 5-manning bottom, then you just sit and you farm other lanes. If they start to push the high ground, then you just TP back, you know, shrapnel the wave or whatever, you pull the creeps back. It is not easy to breach that tier 3. And because, fortunately for Danish Bears, they got the Aegis and the cheese usage from KYXY pretty much as soon as iG.Vit got it, that means they don't have those things to push the high ground.
Yeah, it's very, I mean, one lasso changes the entire complexion of a fight, you know, whether or not you continue to push or you just have to back away and hopefully not get caught. Bat Rider, very good at finding those positionings. And then, of course, as you mentioned previously, the Sniper, who can hit you from a mile away, sitting back over at his tier 4 tower, and with Shrapnel as well, helping push out the wave. They have the good high ground defense, but are they ever going to be able to have a full high ground defense? Will it ever get to that point? We'll see. See what happens next. Is All right, what else? What other big items are coming out that we haven't really talked about? I guess the Shivas for Cicada. There is the Aghanim's for the Razor for Ace. Anything else that we haven't talked about really?
Let's see. The blink on the Death Prophet was interesting. I mean, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's not a common item that you see on Death Prophet, but it makes sense in this game because if you're tanky enough and you have your BKB and you're confident in being able to live, then being able to close the gap and just like throw out a Spirit Siphon and make the sniper run away, just make him stop dealing damage for even a couple of seconds. That kind of stuff can matter a lot. So I kind of like it. It's unconventional, but I think in this particular situation it fits.
That actually is a good point. Again, not a very common item, but I'm into it. The sniper right now, he does have the BKB. He bought Mjolnir as well. Now working on an MKB on top of it, so wants the True Strike. And there's that Shiva's guard. All right. I guess we might just wait for a Roche.
So you can like BKB, blink in Shivas, silence, and then Spirit Siphon people, and they're like crazy slowed if they don't have a BKB and they can't do anything. Pretty cool, actually.
We'll see if he does survive, if he ends up going for that blink play. But so we talked about the fact that there's no Aegis, there's no Cheese that were forced out. Roche, we don't know when it's going to respawn. It's a minute and a half until we find that 8-minute mark. I mean, iG.Vit are kind of waiting for something. Clearly, they want to pick off, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think Danish Bears are doing a very good job of splitting up the map. So do you just wait for Roche on then if you're iG.Vit? Wait for the next Roche, Aegis Cheese again?
Yeah, I don't see a reason why not. As long as you're not getting... As long as you're not like having the lane equilibrium taken away from you. Like right now, iG.Vit are controlling the map. Danish Bears are in their base, so there's no reason for them to go for anything crazy if Roshan's going to be up in the next couple of minutes anyway. They can keep 2 lanes pushed in simultaneously without really putting themselves at much risk. It's usually when you go for like the 3rd lane of push that you start to open yourself up to get picked off, right? Because there's a Spirit Breaker and there's a Bat. But if you're just pushing like top and mid, it's really, really hard for Danish Bears to find that opportunity. So again, they don't really have split pushing heroes either. Like, they don't have anything that's mobile enough to walk to that off lane and just start hitting triggers. It's way too dangerous.
Not yet anyway, maybe in the future, but even still, you're right. I don't think there's going to be a way to keep all these lanes pushed out, or at least attempt to. iG.Vit are really doing a good job of staying together. It's slowed down a fair bit, but that gives more time for Angelite to pick up this Refresher Orb. And he's getting closer and closer. And then the BKBs, again, as we talked about, also going down in duration. 7-second duration now for the Razor. So another big item coming here in the near future for iG.Vit.
Well, Refresher is only like 1400 away for the fight as well.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think he actually has mana to do it. I think if he Greaves, maybe. Yeah, if he uses his Greaves, he can do it. But, you know, then you're looking at like another item, like maybe they get a second Shivas or whatever, maybe he gets even a Hex, honestly wouldn't be that bad. It's looking a little bit scary.
Oh, wow. Ace is like alone. Oh, the Torrent, it's going to hit, but they're not going to go for this. They think that the entire Danish Bear squad is behind him. However, that is not the case. It is now daytime, which makes things a little bit less sketchy perhaps for Danish Bears, and they're starting to move out and take their jungle back. And they know that iG.Vit are just farming straight everything on the map, essentially. There's not much they can do about it. And Roche respawn. 40 seconds, Landy. 40 seconds. Do you go for a pick if you're iG.Vit, or can you take it fast enough that you just head into the pit and just take it?
I think you want to pick if you have a smoke. Super has one. So, you absolutely smoke first, because against Batrider, if you go in 5v5 and there's a shrapnel in the pit and there's a Batrider just flying around, oh my god, that is awful. You do not want to deal with that. One hero down at least makes it less likely that you're going to get crushed in the fight.
Yeah, they have drawn a line. They thought about going for that line.
They're going to go for the wraparound, I think.
Yeah.
They're just leaving. They're going to show one hero to make it a little bit less obvious. Maybe, you know, give Danish Bears that false sense of security. Or, like, it's basically like they either go for the Roche or they go for the pick. And then if it fails, then they have to back. But...
Oof. Joe almost broke that smoke. Speaking of smoking, Danish Bears, are they looking to do so? I don't think they have one on them. They just have dust. Meanwhile, they will, in fact, find Joe. He's able to BKB out the ghost ship. But now that is a BKB down for your Batrider. But again, you don't get the pick at the very least if you're Danish Bears. iG.Vit don't have that numbers advantage. That would have been the perfect hero to get, as you mentioned, the Batrider. But And we'll see if they can't take this. They're going to attempt to anyways, even without the pick.
Yeah, might have bought him enough time. They don't have a shrine. So the Bat Rider doesn't have anywhere to TP
He can't
to.
TP. Oh, man. This is going to die pretty quickly. They won't use Exorcism, but they have the Sword Crest and the Serpent Wards. Super will find an illusion, and it looks like this is going to be it. They're just going to have to give this away. It's too little, too late for Danish Bears. Wow. Okay, that's without Exorcism as well. So now the push can commence here if you are iG.Vitality.
Yeah, that was a really nice movement there from iG.Vit. They recognize, hey, there's no shrine. Even if the Bat Rider pops his BKB, goes back to base with 1 health, that means he can't be at Roche. Or if he is, he's putting himself at huge risk, as is he putting the rest of the team at risk. So we'll just go for it, throw everything down. You know, Mass Serpent Wards, they're not the longest cooldown. 2 minutes is like, eh. They should be able to push out the lanes fast enough to... I mean, heck, it's already up in 1 minute. They just walk down a lane. They can potentially... You can go mid, but mid is so annoying because it still has 3 shrines.
Shrines,
it's a very hard lane to break, even with the tower being dead.
Perhaps bottom, we'll see. They're going to clear out the creep wave first and foremost. They're all kind of split up right now. You can see Injuly is top. He's, again, getting very close to that refresh orb. And Danish Bears, again, looking to take back control of their own jungle, but they're not smoking up. They're kind of walking out. There is a ward. It will not spot them yet. Injuly is in lane. And he's just going to TP out. And, again, Danish Bears, they're willing to give away a lot, I would imagine, but just not this top lane and not this jungle. Trying to stay together and doing as much as they can. But here it is. It is the refresher picked up for the Tidehunter for Injuly. And they will move together as a team. And it looks like it very well could be mid here, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, the tier 3 is that it makes it nicer to drop the wards. That's the one huge benefit. Like, the thing about Shadow Shaman when you're sieging is that usually when you put the wards down, they can either hit the tower or they can hit the racks. Usually not both, because you have to put them like between everything and then they just get killed. So now with the tower being dead, it means that Super can drop the wards like between the 2 racks if he wants to. It acts more of like a zoning mechanism because your heroes aren't clumped up around that one small choke point by the tower. And then iG.Vit can play it a lot more aggressively. So there are definitely benefits to going mid in this situation. It's just most of the time, because there are 3 shrines up, if the tower was there, you'd look at that lane and just be like, ugh, no thanks.
Yeah, that's a negative. And they might not even decide to go mid. Another thing to keep in mind also is there is a sniper, so taking down these wards is kind of easy for 747, you know, when they get dropped inevitably. So iG.Vit might not have the longest amount of time to work with those Serpent Wards being dropped. And he also picks up an MKB, as we talked about previously, so 747, still one of the top net worth heroes. He's currently just about tied with his Death Prophet, who since getting the Shiva's Guard is now working on an Octarine Core, which is a pretty huge item for this hero, and is also level 25 and has the 8 Exorcism Spirits, which is kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. Ups your damage for like 25%. It's the ultimate pretty much.
Yep.
It's 32 spirits at level 18, I believe. Yeah. So I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't go for health, especially considering he went blink, because I don't think they suffer from a damage issue. I think they suffer from a... If I live throughout my entire ulti duration, I probably do enough damage. You know, that's how I see it at least. But obviously the 8 spirits are really good.
All right. They're going to have dogfights. Trying to walk up. X marks. Gets a ward down. Noya, I don't believe, spots this. So they're none the wiser, at least for now. Some good vision coming out. We'll see Noya in the sidelines. Creep wave coming in. Not a big creep wave. They'll probably have to wait for the next one. And then here we go. Super jumping in. Wards. Trap. Yep. Ravage comes out as well. Global Sound's not there in time. Looking for that last, so they will find it. BKB's popped as well. Exorcism ace at half health. Injuly going to refresh up. The charge coming through. The torrent is there. They need more. And KYXY will lose that Aegis, but it is just the Aegis. In the meantime, the Serpent Wards are dropping down this full set of racks. The Omni Slash coming through. Ace gonna get forced back, and that will be it for KYXY. There's the Nether Strike. Ravage, number 2 coming in. Injuly hits just about everybody. The torrent to follow-up is there. The right-click damage, the Exorcism going to work. It is 3 dead, and perhaps more. iG.Vit will take the full set of racks mid, and now they can work on other lanes as well. They are a little bit low. Something to keep in mind, Takata is in deep. Noya is forced to buy back. And iG.Vit, they need to be careful. Dogfights will TP and X marks itself back. They will try to make sure nobody comes in looking for a fight. But again, no sniper, no silencer, all of these abilities down. And they're going to head bottom, it looks like, Andy.
Yeah, the double Ravage just ended the game. 747 went all in on his items. He doesn't have buyback, so they have no damage.
Ghost ship, Shiva's guard alongside. Noya will die back. Super coming in, finds the shackles onto Ace. BKB is back up in 1. He is very tanky. He's going to use it, but still getting right-click down. KYXY going to work the Anchor Smash, also doing some damage, and he needs to be careful now with no more BKB. They will find a Hex as well into Hess Joe. They're going to find the Torrent to follow up. The Anchor Smash dead. Gem dropped down on the deck, and that might be it here. At 47 minutes in, iG.Vit looked like they're about to take 2 sets of racks and probably the game.
Yeah, this was a very, very good game from iG.Vit, to be honest. I think Angel I played exceptionally well.
Yeah.
KYXY had his struggles, but I mean, at the same time, their team is so ulti-reliant that he didn't even really need to have a good performance. It's just like he throws out an Omni Slash, he ends up having like pretty good amount of net worth, but in reality, he's winning based off of
Shada, BKB's up. One last gasp here as we're getting some lag. We'll see if it continues, but the game might be over at that point. Raxes are taken down. Hessio's BKB is done. Blade Fury TP from KYXY. Dogfight's trying to keep himself alive. The Guardian Greaves as well as the Ghost Ship helping him stay tanky enough. Assassinate will fly back through onto 747, not doing much. They want somebody. Can they find anybody? Super will be the target. He gets whipped down. Meanwhile, Cicada getting chased as well near that shrine. They do have buybacks in both heroes. They will find perhaps 3 kills. The dash is coming in. KYXY pops the Manta, and now Noya getting shredded. Yeah, the blade of KYXY just too strong. The global silence will come through. That might keep Ace alive as he backs away. BKB is down for another 43. X marks the Torrent, and Rise is too damn squishy to deal with all of this damage coming in. Again, another 2 heroes dead, and I believe they bought back on dogfights as well as Super. But I don't think, I mean, they have Mega Creep, so short of a throw where everybody dies and nobody has buyback, I don't even think they can really do anything about this, so I think it's just over.
Not likely. It's unfortunate because I actually felt like Danish Bears had a really good shot. It's just a couple of bad fights. 747 getting caught out of position, that was like the biggest thing. The smokes just connected so well from iG.Vit this game. Almost every single time they were getting like favorable trades.
Get out of there and glide. Steve's guard will come in again. Ace, Spirit Siphon, BKB pops, and now the Ancient exposed, taking some damage. Refresher Orb, Aghanim Scepter for Ace, chasing after KYXY. Meanwhile, the rest of his team getting dove in the well. They probably won't find this kill after the Ancient is gone, considering it's about to go down now. The Ravage will come in. Another Refresher Ravage coming out at the same time comes into the Ghost Ship, and the Ancient is dead. So iG.Vit will take a game.
Yeah, I think, like we saw what happened as soon as a double Ravage comes out. I don't even think that Danish Bears knew he had a Refresher with the way they were playing. Because he came in, he Ravaged once, and then he walked away. And then everyone started clumping up. They're like, oh, okay, Ravage is down. You know, it's a natural response. Okay, the ult's down. We don't have to worry about it anymore. We'll just go in. And then the second Ravage hits 5 heroes. And they're like,